All the time. Hi, guys. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Friday. You know what that means. 3D Friday. Yes, we're excited about 3D Friday, aren't we? Very excited about 3D Friday. Hope everybody is well. I have to admit that I got my second shot yesterday. Yay! I am now fully vaxxed. I guess I have to wait 2 weeks, but for it to fully take or something. But I am dragging a little bit. I just kind of wanted to let you know that I feel a little bit of brain fog, but nothing is as worse as cancer treatment. So I am not complaining or anything. I just wanted you to know I might be a little stumbly with my words or something today. Good morning, Sandra. Hi, Lynn. How are you feeling? Hi, Arden. Or is it Ardeen? Ardeen, I think it probably is. Yay, it's Friday. It's 3D Friday. We've had a really warm week here in New England, but I heard that the weather's going to kind of turn for the weekend, which will make my son unhappy because he really wants to have fire in the fire pit. We have a brand new fire pit. And we will probably cook outside once or twice. And so I wanted to present you with a couple of free files from our friends at Dreaming Tree, that you can snag and put together with me. Dreaming Tree can be found at the web address 3dsvg.com. 3dsvg.com. It's known as Dreaming Tree, but their URL is that 3dsvg.com. The wonderful thing about this company is that they offer a lot of free files. This is because I believe that a lot of their files are very intricate. Their paid files are pretty complicated, maybe for the new user, and so they like to introduce people to their files by offering free files. So once you get here, if you've never been here before, set up an account. I just set up an account. It's easy. Just put your name, address, email, and then you can go shopping. So there are free SVG files. There's a ton of them. There's over 100, and they span all the way from New Year's to Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, summertime, everything you can imagine, and they're free. But you do need to put them in your cart. So for example, if I am looking for today's project, which is, it's over here. I know that I saw it. I just had it on my screen. So here it is. We're doing a Patriotic Tealight today. That's this one here. Let's have a look at this project on the file. The thing that I love about Dreaming Tree is that they do create assembly tutorials on all of their projects. They also, when they give you a project, they give you a PDF that lists each individual piece for the project and tells you what color to cut it in. These are merely suggestions. You don't have to follow it straight, exactly, and you can use your imagination. We're also going to be putting together this, where, if I can find it, let me just search for it. It's a firefly, Tealight that the reason why I want to show you this one, why can't I find it? So firefly, maybe, what else are they called? Dragonfly, maybe they're called Dragonfly. Yeah, not firefly. What am I talking about? Oh, okay. So here's this Dragonfly mini lantern. The reason why I want to show you this is that This is a beautiful, like, summer wedding sort of centerpiece, or just like any summer gathering, and it's really elegant looking, put together. I'm going to show you how to color the vellum, because it says to use gold vellum. And I'm going to show you how I've colored the vellum because it's hard to find gold vellum. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. When you log in and you find the free file, you would then just put it into your cart. I'm just putting any old one in my cart. Then I can go and view my cart. And then I am going to, because there's no price here, I'm just going to proceed to checkout. Once I do that, once I get through the order, and I've already got my account information listed on here. So if you've never been here, you'll have to create an account. Then you're going to download, and this is where you do it. You can download. The thing I really, really like about Dreaming Tree is their downloads never expire. So if you get overwhelmed and you forgot to download a file, you can just come back here anytime you want and download the file. So there it is. So we're just going to hit this download button, and I'm on a Mac. So if you have a different kind of computer, it might be slightly different, but once you download it, it will be able to be found in your download files. So let me just go here to my download files, and here is this one, Lotus Tealight 3D SVG, and then also I have these are all Dreaming Tree files that I haven't yet presented for you, and most of them are the free ones, so just so you can see. Once I've done updating, so here's the Lotus, and let me just see if the Patriotic one is here. It's not, I don't see it. But once you've sort of uploaded the SVG, personally I keep them because my computer doesn't allow me to duplicate, and I do move them over to my documents file, which is in my iCloud. So that's just as far as, you don't have to keep them, but I find it easier than having to go to the site and finding it through there. Okay, so we're going to, this is my my file, so I am going to just save this summer luminaries or lanterns or tea light. I don't know what you want to call it, tea lights. All right. And there's actually quite a few of these, and I am going to put them under lights, lanterns, and luminaria, which I have as part of my collections. Don't you love the collection thing? I love that it makes you sort of, I love it when you're saving it. It does it right then and there, because I can't seem to figure out how to go back. And, well, it's not that I can't. I think it's a little bit confusing. Anyway, so let's start from scratch, because that's what you're going to do. Now, so this is assuming you've already gone and downloaded your file from Dreaming Tree. So you're going to start at a blank canvas and hit upload. Upload is right here. Okay, and you'll notice here you have two choices, upload and pattern fill. If you've been with me all week, you know that the pattern fill is something totally different, and we've gone over it, and that works out really nice if you're interested in doing pattern fill, like with your offset, to make really cool stickers. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to actually go to upload images. Now, did you know that when you upload images, they will stay saved into this? This is kind of like an image library. I will often remove these. I don't know why I do that. Nobody's ever told me they shouldn't have too many there. But the one thing that is a not so good thing about Dreaming Tree is that all of their files come as separate SVGs. So here is an example. This is the one we're going to be doing today. And you see that there's the vellum, there's the foil, and then there's two for the blue, there's red and red. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So, but here, you know, so if you've already uploaded it once and you want to sort of find a piece, you can do that here. Okay. And let's see, let's go back to, upload. And you're going to hit upload images and browse, depending on where your images are. These SVGs that you downloaded, sometimes they're in the download file. So here are my download files, right? And let me see if I can't find snowflake, penguin. All right, let's do the lotus. Here's the Lotus Tealight, okay? So this is very similar to what you would do for the Patriotic. So every free file comes with this. It's a PDF. You cannot import PDFs to Design Space, but you can print it from your downloads file, and it's often very useful. So I recommend either printing it or saving it. Maybe if you don't want to print it or you don't have a printer, you can save it to some place or keep it here in the SVG file so that you can refer to it. It does give you dimensions, which you don't have to worry about the dimensions, but it also tells you colors and anything additional that you might need. There's a picture. So this is JPEG, is just a picture. And then you're going to go for this file. It's SVG file. Okay. And what you're going to have to do is upload each one of these separately. That's the only drawback to Dreaming Tree files is the upload process. One thing I did notice is that they are now including solid score lines. So if you are somebody that wants to use their scoring stylus or scoring wheel, because all of these that come in, they come in with dash cut lines. If you want to use solid score lines, you can look at this file. That's not the case for all of Dreaming Tree's projects. Some of the older ones do not have solid score lines. What you get is actually these dashed cut lines that operate as scoring. So we're just going to take each of these pieces like this and open them up, and basically you're uploading them from your downloads file. So you're just kind of moving them over, okay? You can also drag and drop here, but I just do it this way. It's easier for my brain to work, okay? So then once you have all of the pieces in, you are going to go, and I always go to like see all images, because often with Dreaming Tree, you can have sometimes 10 or 12 things that you're uploading into Design Space. And if you go back here to uploads, you see it says recent, and you're only able to see part of it. And so oftentimes, if you're not paying attention, you might miss one of the pieces. Okay, so let's do this Patriotic one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to bring them all in. Now, as with every time we upload an SVG at this point in time anyway, we do need to make sure we attach the score lines. So here you see these are score lines, but they're really cut lines. This makes you doing 3D SVG files so easy for Joy, because you don't have to worry about the scoring, okay? So if you have a Joy, for these free files can be your friend, and all you have to worry about is the size. So all of these, see, that have these dashed score lines here, need to be attached. Attach is down here at the bottom. right here, attach, it looks, I know you can't really see my finger, but it looks like a paper clip. So we're going to do that, attach it like this. On all of the pieces that have those dashed cut lines, we're going to attach it. So in this case, there are 3. Now, one thing that I want to mention is if you're making a lot of these and you want to kind of conserve your materials, there are a few tricks that you can use, such as this one here is, this one I probably wouldn't do this trick, but let's look at this gold piece. You see we need 4 because there's 4 sides to the lantern, but the way that it comes in is it's all grouped together, and we don't and it's actually all attached, so it's all grouped together, and we can't just ungroup it. So this will actually waste some of your paper because you won't be able to move this. And if you want to make more than one, or you want to cut this by 8.5 by 11, you probably should do this trick. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to duplicate this. And on duplicate, then we're going to go down here on the bottom to the right hand side, right there. It says contour. Okay, and this is one of my favorite tricks in Design Space, is using contour. That's when you have a single image or a simple image that you want to take pieces out of. Okay, so in this particular case, I am going to choose hide all contours, and it will hide all but one, really. And in this case, it's this one. So I need to make sure that all the pieces from that one little emblem is showing. And so when I do that, you will see I end up with just one of these. And that's perfect, because then I can actually delete this one and then duplicate it to the 4 times. Why do I do this? Well, partly because I'm a little bit crazy, but the other part is I don't like to waste paper, and now I can put this on an 8.5 by 11 inch paper. I don't get something cut off along the way, and then I can make multiples as well. This same sort of thing you could do with these pieces as well, but this is a really glaring issue here. Now, I didn't look at the PDF, but you see here, the red is a different color than the gold, and I want to just talk about that. Now, I suppose you could cut that out in glitter, and that could be the front of the Luminaria, but I probably would just group it with that color. And then when I go to cut it, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would do here. No, I think I probably could do that. These, because this is kind of large, you are going to need 2 slices of the navy color. But so when you go to make it, here is the vellum, and this works because my vellum is 8.5 by 11 inch. And then here's my gold, and see how it comes up like that? Well, my gold foil, it comes from Michael, so it's 8.5 by 11. If I were to keep it like this, it's really on that line of 11, and it might not cut properly. So that's why I ungroup them basically, and I'm going to put it down here so then I can put the 8, it will cut perfectly. Okay, same with this, you know, this is a fairly large item piece. I don't think that you can move it, but if you could, you would just click on the triple dots here and choose move object, and you could try it. Okay, so in this case it moved the object, and really even when we turn it and stuff, it's not gonna really fit too well. And you can't use 8.5 by 11 inch paper for this. I suppose you could finagle this around, but now I just want to remove it, put it back on its own original mat. So that's what I'm going to do. So you can move and remove the pieces once you've moved them, by the way. You can also hide pieces if you wanted to. Sometimes that's useful if, for instance, you are recutting something and you just need to cut a couple of the pieces or something already cut out. That can be useful. So here's also our red, and that is a very big piece. And then there is our individual red. I don't know. I think I would cut this all out in basic red. So that's what I do. Now, do note that when you're doing vellum, you do need to choose vellum as a cut setting. So you would go here to browse all material and you would just type in vellum. I think it's under paper, and here it is, vellum. If you've never worked with vellum, first of all, it can be a little bit hard to find, okay? So I get mine from Michael's. They usually have it in a 50 pack sometimes. And so I buy it in the 50 pack. In this particular file, we are not coloring the vellum, but in the Firefly one, we are. So that's why I wanted to show you the Firefly one. But you can color this. You can achieve the coloring in a number of ways. And I did notice that somebody was saying you could use tissue paper. But tissue paper is a very different kind of paper than vellum. Vellum's, first of all, vellum is not always translucent. I think a lot of people assume that it is. So if you're going and you see something called vellum paper, you need to find that it says translucent on it. I made this mistake a while ago where I ordered vellum paper, which was very smooth and everything. I thought I got the best deal in the whole world, but it wasn't translucent. I thought I bought gold paper that was translucent, and it wasn't. So vellum it's a very smooth material, and it cuts differently. It can cut very well using your machine. I have not had a whole lot of luck with tissue paper. So if you are going to use tissue paper instead of vellum, I would suggest that maybe you hand cut it. It would make it a lot easier. Excuse me for coughing. So sorry. Okay, so let us also, I'm going to go back. I'm going to cancel out of this because I want to also show you. So this is all one file, okay? So I want to show you the Firefly one too, just so you can see. So I'm going to group this together and I can hide it. So I'm going to go to my uploads where I also uploaded the Firefly, and it's actually a simpler piece, and this is why I guess I like this for an event. I actually made my friend's husband died a few years back, and she had a memorial service. So beautiful service, and she had it in this barn, and it was in the afternoon, and so there was it was the most gorgeous light, and I asked her what I could do, and she suggested maybe making the table decoration. So I made 30 of these. It was a very big service. This guy was really, really well loved. And I loved putting this together because it was just two pieces and then this piece to secure the bottom. And then I used this gold vellum, which I had to buy. But today I was playing around and I was able to color this vellum using my alcohol ink. So I want to show you that. So I don't need to go through and show you how this cuts out. You do need to be careful with vellum, getting it on and off the mat, because it does tear a little bit if you're not careful. So I would suggest, it also has a tendency to curl, and that's okay because we're going to be securing it really, really well to the back of the lantern, okay? So let's put this together. First, we'll put together the Patriotic one. Okay, good morning, Angela. So the Patriotic one consists of, it's slightly different than the Firefly one. It consists of a little platform. That's what this is. And you're going to fold at all of these score lines right here. So, I actually like the dash cut lines, but some people don't, and so it's good to have an option of using or not using. So it kind of goes together like a pizza box, and I would suggest if you are going to be using this outside, that it's possible that, you know, the wind could take it. So I would suggest when you're putting this together and you're afraid if it might go sort of somewhere, is take something a little bit more solid. Normally I would use like rice, but maybe not rice in this case, but it would work. But before you close it up, you can put something in there, and that will hold the tea light and keep it from moving around or flying off of your table if you're using it outside. Just be careful, because if you use rice, it could get all over the place. But I have used rice. Oops. I have used rice on a number of these sort of things for the outdoors, and it really does hold them up really well. That goes for the hydrangeas. The hydrangeas are very top heavy. I don't know if you guys have done the hydrangeas, but they're very top heavy, and so they have a tendency to fall over a lot. And so I use the little condiment cups that I save because I want to recycle them, and I just throw, you know, a couple teaspoons full of rice in there, and then put them in the bottom of, and it fits perfectly, and it doesn't knock over. So that's up to you what you want to do, but personally I cannot stand chasing after things that go flying off tables. So that's something you might want to consider, and you can do it right in here. All right, so it's like a little pizza box, you see, and oh yeah, you could put it in a plastic bag. That's a good suggestion, Annette. But rice is good. Everybody has rice hanging around, or beans, dried beans maybe, if you don't have rice. And that will keep the object from just taking off with the good strong wind. All right, so I just closed this up. It's a little pizza box, you see, and you have to make sure that it's really attached there well, and that's it, right? So that's the bottom part. Next comes the main piece. Let me just put this over here. So the main pieces. Okay, so these two pieces are the main pieces. Yeah, these are the main pieces. And you will see that they also have the dash cut line. So you're going to go ahead and fold these like this. I kind of always do it a second time the other way, but that's just me, maybe. So it's going to become a box, and you'll see that the bottom is already here. So here it is. The way that this is going to go together is through this tab. There's a tab right here. And so we're going to line this up like this. And you know you have it correct if the tab is on this side and this side, so the left side. Because sometimes you cut it out, you might accidentally flip it over. And so you might think, how do I put this together? So look for those tabs. We're going to glue here at this tab. All right. There we go. But before we close it up, this is where we're going to put the vellum. Okay, we're going to put the vellum on the inside. Now, when working with vellum, it's really important when you use the glue to not over glue it. A little goes a long way with vellum, and if you use too much, it will crinkle and it just will not look good. So go ahead and glue. I just glue all the way around, and then press it down really well. If there's a little spot like here, I might put a little bit more glue there, and you have to do that 4 times. So that's what I'm doing here. Not a lot, but all over so that the piece stays on, okay? Give it a little push there. Oop, a little stuck to my thing. Okay, and here we go. This is on the inside, so it really doesn't matter what it looks like. But what you want to avoid is getting glue through the see-through part, okay? So once we get that done, almost done here, and you know, you guys won't be rushing through this. You'll be taking your time, so you'll do it better than I. I'm just trying to, you know, get this done in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so we're going to flip it over, and now we're going to work on the outside pieces. So the outside pieces consist of, let me move it over here. The outside pieces consist of the red piece and the gold pieces. This one I actually ripped, so sorry. And then so the gold is going to go on here, and then there's a blue piece that goes on here. When you're using glue on foil, be careful because it smudges very easily and it kind of ruins the effect of the foil. So try to not get it on the foil side, and just be a little careful about it. Okay, so there is that first one, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this blue part, and then this is going to look fabulous because it's going to go over the lantern part where the vellum is. So let me show you that. Just like this, and you see when we put the lantern in, the light is going to come through on the stars and also here on the stripes. It's going to look very nice. So you're just going to assemble this 4 of them, obviously. Oops, sorry, I want to make sure I'm in camera. I'm in camera, and I'm going to just make sure that these are lined up just like that. See that? And we just go through and do that 4 times. So this is ripped, but it's not going to be a problem because the gold piece will cover it. But I could also, if you do rip, you know, you can sometimes just sort of dot a tiny bit of glue there just to hold that piece in place. See that? But usually you can cover those things up, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, then you could recut it if you want. But I wasn't about to recut it because I felt like it was going to get hidden anyway, and look, it does. So we're just going through and creating all 4 of these. By the way, this particular gold piece, if you notice, it's not complete over here. That's because I didn't separate these gold pieces, and I used an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper. So do what I said, which is to, if you have an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, so you don't have this cut off look, but you know, you can put that in the back too. That's what I figured. And I wanted to show you what it looks like if you don't separate those pieces. Okay. It's not gonna ruin your project, but you know, you have to be careful about that, because it's hard sometimes to cut with 8.5 by 11. You really do make sure that the paper is properly on your mat, so it cuts out the entire thing. All right. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. So there's a nice little workaround. Okay. So I'm keeping him doing this. I hope I'm not taking too long to do this. This one here also got cut off. See that? So definitely, folks, I would ungroup them and use that contouring trick so that yours doesn't look like mine. Yours will be better. And everybody will be like, no, you made that. That's awesome. Instead, they're going to look at mine and say, why is it cut off there? Just kidding. Nobody around here notices anything that I do. Well, my son, he does a little bit, but he doesn't point out errors, which is a nice thing. Okay, so once we get all 4 of these done, we're going to glue them onto this side. We're almost done. This is great. And just glue them. Well, be careful that you don't get glue everywhere, and you don't need a lot of it. Just remember that. Okay. This one. So as far as the vellum is concerned, in this particular file, you don't have to worry about colored vellum because it uses the white as part of the design, and that's going to work out. But vellum usually comes in that translucent white color, and especially with Dreaming Tree files, they often will call for different color vellum, and a lot of times people, they don't know where to get it, especially the colored version. So they set it up so that you could print on your printer the vellum by color, and there's a free like PDF that you can color with. Okay, but actually I found out that that does waste a lot of ink in printers, and if you're not someone that has something like the HP Instant Ink or an Echo Tank, then you might want to avoid using up all your ink because it's expensive. Here I am closing this. Remember it's a 4 corner, so I'm closing it with the tab like that, you see. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it upside down, and I am going to put like a little pizza box there. Can you tell what I'm craving right now? I don't know why. I'm going to blame it on my vaccine. Okay, so we're going to put this glue here and close it up. Make sure it's all squared off. I'm getting back to the vellum, so by the way. So I started to make a few adjustments with the vellum, and I found out that our trusty alcohol inks work great with coloring the vellum. The only thing we need to do here is put this bottom piece in there. You don't need to do it, but it's a nice touch, and it covers those tabs on the bottom. All right. So that's why I decided I was going to do both of these, because I wanted to show you how I colored for the Firefly, how I'm coloring the vellum pieces. Okay, so these are not connected, and you just need to connect them. You can also use double stick tape here, but since I have my glue, and we're just going to center it onto the base like this, and you can also sort of press it down, but don't press it down too much or you'll crush that bottom piece. So this is rather big, so which I like, you know, but if you wanted to, you could always change the size on it. Make it smaller or even larger. Look at that. This was a free file. How cool is that? You know, definitely appropriate. And obviously you'll see my mistakes here, but other people probably won't. And then you just put one of those little battery operated tea lights. Do not put a live candle in there. You know, there you go. So this one is real simple. This one has a base. Let's talk about this one, which is the one that I did for my friend's memorial. So it's really just 2 pieces, and it has this lovely firefly. It's very elegant when done. It doesn't have a base, which makes it a lot easier to cut out quite a few of them. And you're going to just fold at those cut lines. All of that is the same. And be careful when you're folding there, because this is rather delicate cutout. And I chose these 2 colors because I didn't want the same color, and these 2 were favorite colors of my friend. So I thought that was appropriate. Okay, so these 2 pieces, remember, we're going to match up these tabs. Just like this. Make sure you have it exact so that it's squared off like that. Now I actually can see that I put this on the wrong way, because when I cut it out, it kind of tore. So let me see that I can't flip this around a little bit. So there's that. Yeah, I gotta flip it around. So this. So, okay. Oh, you guys, I don't know how you put up with me. Okay, here we go. So I'm having the bad side on the inside because it tore for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why. I used AC cardstock for this, but it did tear a little bit, unfortunately. Okay, so before you go ahead and close this up, you're going to cut out and color your vellum. Okay, and what you're going to do or to remember is that there's the side that you cut out and the side that was the back, and that's because these pieces are going to go in so that you'll see that gold on those, right? So that's the color that you want. That's the side you want to color. So I was playing around, and I realized I could probably use my alcohol markers to color this, but it might be a little streaky. So I thought, hey, why not use this gold mixative alcohol ink? First I put it in my little palette thing, one of the wells, but then I decided that I was just going to put it right on my little makeup sponge, because I really didn't want it to streak. I wanted it to be really gold. And then I started just patting it on here. Obviously, I have paper on the bottom so that it would hold it in case the ink sort of got on my surface. So you want to do that too. You might have to reload. But if you just can't find this gold stuff and you're in the mood to use gold vellum, this works out pretty pretty awesome. Now, it will look a little bit, it dries fairly quickly. Where's the other piece that I did? It will look a little bit spotty, and that's okay. And you don't want to completely cover it because it still needs to be sort of translucent. But this is all that you do. Isn't that great? I love finding new uses for things. And this was a definite win. Okay. So I want to keep it away from my nails because last time I went and got my nails done, the woman had so much trouble getting the ink when we did those alcohol ink tiles. So I'm trying to keep it away. I suppose I should wear gloves, but you know. And then the fourth one, you got to give it a second to dry, obviously. And then the fourth one. And I found out, like, if you do it like this, it kind of looks smudgy. So I think it's better to just sort of dab, which is what I'm doing. Now, there are other little things that you can use for this, including like cotton balls. I used a piece of like, what was it? Like kind of like a foam thing that I had. And you could also use, there is a specially formulated little thing that is from Tim Holtz that you can use. But makeup sponges are like $1. You know, for a bag of them. So it's so worth it for me. All right. And then it's just about dry. So let's bring our cap up my alcohol ink. Move this over. I am going to turn this over because I don't want to get gold. That's where I did it from earlier. And I'm going to take my pieces and match them up. I'm putting the good side facing so that when I turn it over, it's going to show that very gold look. And these are all very specific to the sides. They're not all the same. And so you do need to sort of match them all up. Make sure that you've got all of them in the proper location. And then we're just going to glue, again, not a lot of glue because it's vellum, and vellum is not like kind of a very absorbent material, so it will just kind of squish underneath. The glue will just kind of squish, and you want to prevent it from squishing out. Okay, so here we are, good side, and we're on the wrong side of this, and we're just putting it on. If you have to go back, put a little bit more, that's fine. Like right here, I can see I need a little tiny bit more, and I will do that. But avoid putting too much. And there's our bad side, so that's cool. And we'll just continue on to all 4 of these sides. I find this kind of work very soothing. I don't know about you guys, but let's see. Oh, hey, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you that I don't know if you heard me, but I am going to be taking Saturday night, which is normally date night. I'm going to be taking Saturday night off because I need to set up my craft room, my studio, better. Right now, I have, as you know, we had 2 brand new machines launch, and I want to be able to show you them, but they are in my dining room. So I want to get them in here and move some things around so that you can kind of see each machine. I now have 5 machines plus my easy presses. So I have a plan, but I just don't get around to doing it when I have something going on that day. So I'm going to take Saturday off, and then Sunday I'll be off because that's our day off. And I think I might come back on Monday for Memorial Day because everybody's home. And maybe I'll show you one of the new machines and I'll have all moved over by then. Okay. There are a few little pieces here that sort of stick out. So make sure you get them with a little bit of glue. Otherwise it might rip on the other side. So here we go. By the way, I did color this after the fact because I wanted to conserve my alcohol ink. Okay, so there are my 4 pieces on there. Isn't that gorgeous? So beautiful. And then we're going to fold in this tab. Fold it in. Do this on a flat surface because you want it to be able to open up and be squared off. Okay? Right? So then once that glue has caught, it might take a second. We're going to, maybe I didn't put enough glue. Okay. Okay. I like the two-tone, but you don't have to do a two-tone. You can do whatever color you want. All right. I think it's caught. So we're going to flip it on to its bottom, or flip up so the bottom is facing up, and we're going to fold these in. Glue. Now I use these indoors, so I didn't have to worry about them flying off. But if you, for instance, are going to use these outdoors, I would just get a couple of pebbles or rocks and just sort of put them in the bottom with the Tealight. Or I suppose you could use sand. These are reusable too. I think they'd just be really beautiful at an event that was like at night or in the summertime. And then they give you this piece here. We're going to put a little bit of glue on that and pop it in to the bottom to cover up those tabs. And that is all there is to it. Aren't these lovely? I think that the gold came out really nice. You know, so that's kind of cool. It's going to look really beautiful with a little tea light inside. This one here, we didn't need to color, and so you'll see that white shining through. And these are just fun. They're free, and as long as you follow the directions that I gave or that they give, you are golden in these. And they, the free files are really quality files. They're just slightly smaller than Dreaming Tree's other files, and so they're a great introduction to doing 3D projects. Okay, that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and I will be putting it on to YouTube. I will not see you tomorrow, but I'll probably see you Monday morning, and we'll be doing something with the new Explore. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a very safe and happy holiday weekend. If you are American, if you're Canadian, you had that weekend just last weekend, right? And we will see you again on Monday morning. I hope you get some crafting in. I know I'm going to try to squeeze some crafting in. All right, everyone, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again really soon. You're welcome. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.